Hello everyone, my name is Zubair Juzar and I am the LNG gas and power specialist for S&P Global Commodity Insights. When we talk about the energy transition, one question often sparks debate. Does natural gas help or hinder the journey to a low carbon future? Increasingly, liquefied natural gas or LNG sits at the center of this conversation. On one side, critics point out that LNG is still a fossil fuel. Methane leakage across the supply chain is a serious concern. Methane is over 80 times more potent than CO2 over a 20-year period. There's also the risk of lock in, where long term LNG investments could delay the shift to a zero carbon solutions. On the other side, LNG offers clear benefits, especially in Asia. Compared to coal, LNG emits around 40 or 50% less CO2 when burned for power. It also produces fewer particulates, sulfur, and nitrogen oxides, improving urban air quality. Crucially, LNG is dispatchable. It provides reliability that intermittent renewables cannot yet deliver on their own. LNG is often called a transitional or bridge fuel, but whether it helps or hinders depends on how it is used. Let's bring this into an Asian perspective, the world's largest demand center for LNG. In China, natural gas is part of a strategy to reduce coal dependence and improve air quality. LNG imports are rebounding post pandemic, driven by urbanization, electrification, and industrial demand. However, China is also scaling renewables rapidly. LNG will play a vital but time bound role, peaking in the medium term before tapering as alternatives mature. In India, the story is different. India aims to raise the share of natural gas in its energy mix by 15% by 2030, up from around 6% today. With surging urbanization and industrialization, LNG is a practical solution to meet growing demand while improving air quality. Long term contracts and infrastructure investments signal that LNG will remain a core part of India's energy system for decades. In Southeast Asia, LNG is still new in many places. Countries like Vietnam, the Philippines are building LNG import facilities for the first time. For them, LNG is not only about decarbonization, it's about energy access, replacing declining domestic gas fields and securing flexible power supply. These examples show us something important. LNG's role is not uniform. It is deeply regional, shaped by each country's development stage, resources, and policies. Beyond power and industry, LNG is also making waves in another sector, shipping. The maritime industry is under pressure to decarbonize. The International Maritime Organization, the IMO, has set targets to cut emissions by at least 50% by 2050. For an industry that moves 80 to 90% of world trade, this is no small task. Here, LNG has emerged as the most commercially viable alternative fuel today. Compared to heavy fuel oil, LNG reduces CO2 emissions by up to 20%, virtually eliminates sulfur oxides, and cuts nitrogen oxides and particulates dramatically. That's why major shipping lines, container carriers, bulk operators, and cruise lines are ordering LNG powered vessels. In fact, LNG has become the dominant alternative fuel for new build ships. While it may not be the end game, since ammonia, methanol, hydrogen, and biofuels are on the horizon, it is a stepping stone that allows the shipping sector to take meaningful steps toward decarbonization now. This dual role in power generation onshore and in maritime transport offshore shows LNG's versatility. But it also reinforces the same dilemma. LNG can accelerate progress, but it must not become a crutch that delays the adoption of zero carbon fuels. So, back to the question, does LNG help or hinder the energy transition? The honest answer is it can actually do both. It helps by displacing coal, enabling renewables, and giving shipper a cleaner option today. But it hinders if we often fail to control methane leakage, overbuild infrastructure, or allow LNG investment to crowd out funding for cleaner alternatives. The challenge ahead is to manage this duality responsibly. This means deploying carbon capture where possible. It means reducing methane leakage across production, transport, and regasification. And it means ensuring today's LNG investments are flexible enough to adapt as hydrogen, ammonia, and renewable power scales up. In conclusion, LNG is not the destination, it is part of the journey. In Asia and in shipping, it is playing an enabling role, buying time and providing flexibility as renewables, batteries, and next generation fuels grow. The task before us is to ensure this bridge is strong, but more importantly, that it leads us firmly towards a cleaner, more sustainable energy future.